Engaging local government officials for good governance. Engaging local government officials for good governance. And of course, we have a guest in the studio, but before then, we introduce the guest. It is an interactive program, and we expect you to call into this program and make your contributions. You can call 081 4711 4324. 0814 711 4324 or 0815 656 8580. 0815 656 8580. You can call in and ask your questions and or make your contributions. But before then, we'll lay the foundation of the program. And we have a guest in the studio here with us. He's a gentleman, fine gentleman, I would say, and he's Mr. Henry Egwu. Mr. Henry Egwu is a politician and he understands governance issues. Mr. Egwu, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
All right. We are talking about engaging local government officials for good governance. You know, local government is the third tier of government.
Yes.
Third tier of government after the federal and states. Unfortunately, our local government system has an issue. It is the government that is nearest to the people. However, from our observation, local government has not worked optimally, even with the return of democracy since 1999. However, there are concerns that the local government system, which is the closest to the people, should do the work it is set out to do constitutionally in our constitution. And there are hiccups. So in this program, we are going to look at what are the things we are going to do to make local government, because local government is not a person, it's not just an entity. People make up local government.
It's an institution.
Yes, the officials make up local government. So what do you really think that should be done in the first instance, looking at local government? Do you think local government could be made functional with what we see in the country?
Okay, thank you, sir. You know, Nigeria is a federal state, and over the years, federalism has been one of the principles of governance in Nigeria. Owing to the fact that in federal system, there is what we call division of power among the various tiers of government. That includes the federal, state, and the local government, which is our major topic today. Then this power was divided in what we call national legislative list. We have the concurrent list, which contains the functions and responsibilities of the federal government alone. We have, that is the exclusive list. Then we have the concurrent list, which is a joint task of both the state and the federal government. Then we now come to the residual list. It is in that residual list is where the functions of local government and partly of state government are meeting up. Now, our emphasis is bringing local government officials in governance. But if I should add something, I will put it in good governance, in quote, because we have different types of governance. Good. Now, you've mentioned earlier that local government system, or as an institution, is the third tier of government and the last hope of grassroots participation in governance. Now, they really have a major responsibility to play in ensuring grassroots popular participations in government. How can this happen? You can understand over the years, since 1999, we've had series of local government reform. And the essence of this reform is to ensure a better way that the local government system can be proactive and carry out the grassroots resident in polity. Now, when we bring the officials, having an officials in the local government system is a thing of its own. Then allowing these officials to engage in their sole constitutional assignment is another thing. We are so disheartening that some states in the Federal Republic of Nigeria cannot allow the residual function which is assigned to the various local government to be carried out by the personnel in the local government system. Some state is still interfering in the responsibilities of local government. Okay, let's say for instance, in the local government system, I don't want to use a particular state for a good example, but I know when I say this, people can understand. There are some states, we have state ministry and we have local government supervisory councillors. And you know, we also have federal ministry of various sectors. Yeah. For instance, education, health, and the rest of them. That thing is also duplicated in the state. We also have them in the local government. Now, let me use education for instance. In the educational sector, we have Ministry of Education. And at the state. Then in the local government, we have the Supervisory Councillor for Education. But to a larger extent, in Nigerian system, I don't think that the Supervisory Councillor of Education who serve in the capacity of Minister or Commissioner for Education in the local government have the monopoly of power, have the required power to make decision on his own and implement it within the jurisdiction of his local government without the interference of the State Commissioner for Education. Now, going by that, you discover that they do not have the power to carry out, though there is what we call duplication of responsibilities. And it's not supposed to be so in a federal system like Nigeria. If there is federalism where power is separated, there is sharing and division of power in the various levels of government, meaning that each level of government should carry out their responsibility within their jurisdiction, because there is constitutional provision of the work a local government should do, constitutional provision of the work a state government should do, and that of federal government. Why then in Nigerian local government system, there are some states in this country that don't even recognize local government existence. There are some states. I think there was a time in Anambra State, there was a total abolition of local government system. The state was taking the affairs. Now, not even as if there are a special office of personnel that was created to steer the affairs of the grassroots or the urban rural communities or carry them along in political participation. Now we are talking about good governance. There is no how good governance can be maintained in some communities when they don't know anything about government.
Okay, now before you go further into this analysis and analogy you are throwing, you know, what I'm talking about, what we want to look at is how to bring these people to make officials work, officials do their work, starting from the point of election. Do you really think that we have got it right at the local government?
Okay,
because we know, and we want to situate this to Ebonyi State, in particular, because PEP is working in Ebonyi State, and it serves the people of Ebonyi. So we want to look at how PEP, through this awareness and enlightenment program, we make people participate fully in governance in the state. So we're throwing like, do you really think that starting from election, 2-year period is given by government, you know, the law, local government law in Ebonyi State permits election 2 years tenure for local government chairman and his officials. So do you really think that it's enough? Let's start from there. And the process of election.
Let me start from the process of election. I think the present government in Ebonyi State, under the administration of Engineer David Umahi, I think he has tried to carry out rural participation in politics to a larger extent, because he has used the local government executives to engage in what we call grassroots mobilization. Like during the electoral registration, voters card registration, he mandated all the local government chairmen. He gave them quota that if so amount of registration was not met up by your local government, that means you're not qualified to be a chairman. And with that kind of mandate, it can kind of give the local government chairman the sense of responsibility to know that yes, these are the people I really represent in government. So I believe that 2023 general election, on the coming election, grassroots participation is going to be high. Is actually going to be high.
How are we going to make the local government officials, be part of good governance? Since it is said that most times they are handpicked, and if they are handpicked, the wishes of the masses are not respected. Do you really think that they will respect the wishes of the government or the anointed people who anointed them?
Okay, when you say handpick, I will be surprised, because I know in Ebonyi State there was electoral process in the local government system, and you know that opposition parties, when it always go against their own will, they can call it any name. There was general local government election in Ebonyi State, and I think it's through that election that the new local government council boards emerged in power. So I don't know, each political parties always have their own process of conducting their own internal party election before the general election. If APC, being the ruling power in Ebonyi State, applies such process in nominating those who represent them in the general election, that should not be the problem of the general masses. But the question should be, was election conducted for the whole political party? There was an election. Now, this election is only applicable to the various positions such as the local government chairman office and the councillors who represent the various political wards of the local government.
These, over the years, have we seen their impact? I'm not just talking about the
present
election. And we're talking about that. For our observation shows that these people have not been quite responsive
to the need of the local communities.
Sometimes it's alleged that they are not allowed to work. You mentioned something here, that the supervisory council for